Hi. We're in a pretty boisterous and joyous mood here because as we film this, the Canadian women just won the gold, and we were all going hoo-hoo, yay. And
Yay.
Ray missed it because he was on his car driving down here. So, but Ray Boughen, our member of Parliament, is here today to talk about getting us caught up, and because he's got a week out of Parliament to come back to the constituency to check on things. So, interesting happenings in our nation's capital.
Interesting happenings, Lyle. Yes, indeed. Always, pardon me, always interesting in Ottawa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so some things I thought we would touch on. Of course, we'll start off on a inquisitive note. What happened with Andrew Leslie, General in the Army, one of the guys considered to perhaps take the job as Chief of Defence Staff. He was one of the guys in consideration, and now he's being singled out for
spending money that shouldn't have been spent.
According to somebody.
Some are of that opinion.
Yeah.
I personally think it's ridiculous to spend $72,000 to move anywhere on the planet, but that's my position on that.
Well, yeah, of course, it's some of in our society we have the craziness. Like, it doesn't matter if you move a block or you move across the country. There are certain fixed costs. But I was talking to some people last night, and they were saying, well, part of the process also includes the real estate fees. Those are covered in the transaction. So it's not the move itself from one place to the other wasn't $72,000, but the real estate fees for listing and for selling are part of that package. So
one wonders why that is true.
I don't know.
If you or I sold a house and bought another house, government's not going to pick up our fees. We'll be responsible for our own selves.
Yeah, but in the military, because of all the moves that you do around, it's part of what they do. And when you retire in the military, the last posting, it's called a terminal posting, they'll send you to wherever you want to retire to, because all your time in the military has had you moving around the country. And the last one, they'll put you...
What if you suggest Mars?
Well, you could suggest that, but
it's a long ride.
There is a contest on right now too of people who want to go there, but it's a one-way trip.
But you don't get to come back.
That's right. Yeah,
that's kind of a downer.
And I think that one of the houses that he left was in Ottawa, because the housing in Ottawa is not the same as the housing in Moose Jaw. Would that be fair to say that?
Well, there's 4 walls on the roof, but yeah, there's some differences too.
In terms of the thing, but I think it was 1.1 or 1.2 million was the cost of the house he was moving from to a smaller home.
Oh.
And the real estate fees are, I think it's like 7%. So that's almost right there, the entire cost of the move that, just of happening.
Yeah.
So I've never owned a house, so I can't say these things, and the military doesn't provide for reservists like myself to do that, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I'm just saying, I think the defense mechanism that's been raised by the opposition is that this guy is going to run for them in the next election, and so this is why the hubbub is happening. Do you think that the government would do something like that?
You think?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Hard to say. I would think that they would really question this expenditure of $72,000, no matter how we cut it up.
Yeah.
To move 4 blocks, I understand, down the street kind of thing. So, yeah.
I know, and it's kind of sad if that is true. If that's true, that's a sad commentary. I don't know that it is, and I'm sure but it just seems it's odd for me, and that would happen, because I've never had the chance to meet that guy, but I know he was one of the finalists to be considered to be the most recent Chief of Defence Staff. And he's made some reports to government about the way that the military should be reformulated so that it would be more economical in its operation. But and I think those were pretty well received by the government of the day, saying that he but now he's gone away. So I don't know. But I just thought it was awkward thing.
Yeah.
Now, what's been happening in the House in the last month since we had you on?
Well, of course, the big happening, Lyle, is the budget was tabled by the minister a couple of Tuesdays ago, and that always creates a lot of interest in the media and the public in terms of what's in the budget, what's not in the budget, where is the budget going, how is it going to get there, all those issues. I think for the most part that Palliser did pretty well. We're going to find ourselves recipient of a lot of dollars that will go for training programs, and with SciAS campus here at Palliser, as we know it, with training programs for most of the trades, we're going to be the recipient of a lot of young people going to school, I'm sure, because there's interest-free loans and grants available for young folks now that will be coming forward in probably the tail end of March, early April, and that'll see a lot of action, I'm sure, around all 4 campuses, not only Palliser, but as the ones in Regina, Saskatoon, and PA as well. Another big one for us, Lyle, was the DNA.
I was going to say, people have to say, congratulations to you. It's a members bill you put forward, and now it's going to happen.
Yeah,
not
we
today,
had,
but it's in the process now.
Yep, our staff worked hard on that project. We had support of the Koshman family, of course. They were missing their son and very much concerned about that, as one can understand. Out in BC, there was the Patterson girl that went missing, and that was some time ago, and that's, of course, created lots of anxiety and tremendous amount of interest.
And what exactly will what will happen now?
Well, the DNA plant will, that whole operation will be adjacent, as we understand it, next to RCMP in Ottawa. There's also some talk that it may be located in Calgary. As you know, they moved the
RCMP, the forensic lab
from Regina to Calgary, so it follows that probably the DNA lab will be located there. $8.3 million has been set aside for opening up that facility, and 1.3 per year to keep it running. So it's going to be funded properly, and it's going to be something that's of great interest to a lot of people in Palliser, as across the country, really.
And people that want to register their DNA can do so, and for unidentified bodies that come to light, they will be able to acquire DNA from them and compare it. And keep that DNA on file. So it's just another tool that the police can have to help the people resolve their concerns. So good for you.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Yeah.
Now, what else is going on? You're going back next week. Where are we going?
Well, we have our private member bill brought forward. It's had second reading now, and it's at the vote stage. The bill basically calls for the government to build a memorial representing all the folks that fought in Afghanistan and those that gave the supreme sacrifice. So that's a topic we'll work on, because we've invited everyone from coast to coast to coast to submit ideas for the memorial. What do they think it should look like? What should be on it? How should it be positioned? Where should it be located? So we're saying to the public, give us your input. We want something that is truly representative of Canadian Forces and the public. Because as you know, again, Lyle, some people, a newspaper or columnist lost her life there, and there were some other civilians.
Yeah, she was from Moose Jaw. She worked in Moose Jaw one time.
She was, former employee of the Times Herald. So, that's all going to work its way into the spring operation, and from there on, I guess we'll just see what shakes out of the trees.
Oh man, we've got 3 minutes left, and I did want to touch on one more subject. It's not really related to you being the MP, but it is related to the fact that you're a Moose Jaw resident, and 60 years ago this year, a great event took place in Moose Jaw. Sadly, it was the crash of the Trans-Canada airliner and the Harvard trainer from the base, and they're having an event at the Moose Jaw at the Art Museum, a little showcase about it, and you actually witnessed that.
We were in high school at the time, Lyle, going between automotive and welding, and there were about 5 of us that saw the planes collide, and we thought we should get up there and see if we could help someone. We went up with Ken Spicer's car, and which got smacked at an intersection. some more people going up there and managed to dump the car over. None of us were hurt. Got out of the car and headed to the exhibition grounds where the collision took place, except in the air. And when we were there, the police were already there, and the military police as well as Mounties and the Moose Jaw Police Service. So everything was under control, and we were advised just to stay on the other side of the boundaries, which we did, and offered to help if needed. So yeah, it was a tragic event.
You actually were noticing that the planes were converging. Well,
One
not
of
you, but one of your guys.
One of the guys said they're going to hit each other. We said, no, they're not, Chick. They're miles apart. You're looking up in the sky, and they kept getting closer and closer, and pretty soon they did hit each other. The Harvard actually hit the fuselage of the airliner, and as you know, everyone died in the collision, and so that was kind of a tragic moment.
It was a tragic, and it certainly had an impact on many people in our community, including the family of the woman who was killed up on North Hill. So, not everything, history, being part of history isn't always a happy thing. Like the hockey game today, this could also be a bad thing.
Right.
Too. Well,
that was a glorious event.
Yeah.
Canada came back from a 2-0 deficit and won it in overtime. That's pretty good hockey.
That's pretty good hockey.
Yeah.
2 women's goals today.
Yeah.
Over the men tomorrow. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. There you go.
So, Ray, thank you for taking time. I know you're heading off. You got other places to hit for responsibilities, but thanks for the time for us today. And
my pleasure, Lyle.
When we come back, we're going to talk we're going to go into the gym. We're going over to Yara Center and take a look at some of their new tenants who've taken up home there. So don't go away, because we'll be right back.